everybody, it's Leslie. Just with a little workshop or a little, I don't know what you want to call it, a workshop on a word I had to learn what it was. It's called ghosting, and it's a new word for me, ghosting. But I didn't know what it was. I found out, of course, what it was, and it doesn't have to be about romance. It could also be about a good friend. You have to remember it is a coward's way out of any relationship, friendship or romance. If that person doesn't have enough depth to avoid confrontation to that extreme, how fair is that to you? You must think about that, and not you miss them or why did they do it? It's not your fault. I'm going to go through some things here with you and tell you about ghosting. Think about it. What kind of person really does that? You spent time with people. You've probably had dinners with them, shared meals with them, shared things with them, and they just disappear. That's really, that's probably not a person that you want in your life in any way. That shows that their character is not at all what they propose it to be. That person isn't ready for an in-depth relationship. How does any relationship survive if you cannot be honest and work with it one way or the other? Truly, think about this. Think about it. I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but think about how do you really want to do that? How do you respond to it? Send them a message or voicemail and say, I haven't heard from you lately. I hope I didn't do anything to offend you. If you want to try and resolve any issues, I'd be happy to talk. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. Many people find ghosting acceptable in some circumstances. I don't find it acceptable in any circumstance. It's not fair. Unless there's been abuse of some kind, verbal abuse especially, that's a different story. But a regular relationship, it's not fair to the other person. Don't beat yourself up. If your calls and texts are going unanswered, try to stay calm. Avoid pleading for an explanation. Really, it's not your fault. And the more you do that, the more you puff them up. Or don't send any angry messages, because you need to be above this. If an online dating match or a usual casual acquaintance blew you off, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't do that. If someone closer to you intentionally ignores you, it can really hurt. Give yourself a time to grieve. Stay calm. When you realize that you really have been ghosted and there's no excuse, not even a 10-paragraph email is not good. Address the issue if an existing relationship. If you feel the need to initiate contact, stay rational. Send them a message or voicemail and say just what I said. Hey, you haven't heard from them lately. Did you want to work it out? Myself personally, I guess I shouldn't say it. Myself personally, I would just say, I'll see you. In my mind, I'd say I'll see you, because I don't want anybody like that in my life, and I hope that none of you do either. But it's ask for closure. Say it's important to you, but closure should really be, and it's another thing I can focus on another time. But closure, you don't need closure. If someone doesn't call you in 10 days, a week, 7 days, and they're used to hearing from them every day, and just a little bit, and you spend maybe every weekend one day with them, going out for dinner, going to ball games, doing whatever you do, and you fix food for them, you like to do that, and then you don't hear from them, nothing, you get nothing. I don't know how to say it. To me, that is, and maybe that's because I'm older than a lot of you watching this. Goodbye, see ya, because you don't need anyone like that in your life whatsoever. Confirm that the person is intentionally ghosting you. If you had just 2 or 3 casual dates, that's different. Checking up on them isn't personally worth it at all. If you've been involved for months or years, they might just have a lot on their plate. Before jumping to conclusions, see if they simply have been busy, and make sure that they're in a good physical and mental health. You can check their social media. Maybe they blocked you even. If you both have a mutual friend, you could ask them. You could talk about if they've heard anything. Accept the truth instead of being trapped in denial. Accept the truth that they did this, you didn't. And most people watching this have done nothing wrong, nothing at all wrong. Move past the pain. Review rejection as a blessing in disguise, because, as I said, you wouldn't want someone like this. Remember your grief when you break up. Remember the grief when you break up with anybody. If you've seen warning signs along the way, maybe they've lost interest, that's a good way to move away. Moving past the pain, giving yourself permission to grieve. Try not to take it personally, because we all do that, but it's not. Vent to a friend or family member. And call a family member and say, our good friend, all of a sudden, Sam isn't returning my calls or texts. I thought it was going well, but I've definitely been ghosted. Can we meet up for coffee? I'm pretty bummed, and I could use a friend right now. That'd be a nice thing to say to somebody to start a good relationship. Maintain your physical and mental health with this, because it can be very devastating to be ghosted. And I don't know if I like that word, but I'm not used to it. I guess it's a new word to me. But I hear many people say that to me. And they wonder, why did I do this? Why did he do that? And if you're a friend, why did my friend do that? Go on dates and meet new people. Avoid grieving for a short time, and then go on with your life. Go on with the future. Look for ways to grow, and don't blame yourself for this at all. Ask yourself if there's some red flags you ignored. It's when someone you're dating ends the relationship by cutting off all communication without any explanation. And we're not talking about getting a text back after one awkward OkCupid date. Excuse me. But receiving the ultimate silent treatment for several dates, after several dates, or when you're in a committed relationship. What does it mean if someone is ghosting you? Basically, it's rejection, only without the finality. And if they ghost you, you don't need finality. You don't need a closure, because the closure is they ghosted you, and that's really true. This often happens out of nowhere. It can leave you feeling confused, hurt, and paranoid. But don't be. Take care of yourself. Ask God to help you through this. Remember, the person that did this is the one that does it. Bye-bye. Have a good day.